Hi, my name is David Taylor. I'm a principal of the firm Segelov Taylor Lawyers. This is a short video on remedies, what you get out of a claim for unfair dismissal. The remedies can really be divided into two groups. One, what you might get if the matter settles, so there's an agreement with the former employer as to the terms of a resolution, or alternatively, what you might get if the matter doesn't settle and the Fair Work Commission decides that the termination was unfair. In terms of a settlement, generally it's expressed in terms of weeks' pay, so you'll get a number of weeks' pay as compensation, less tax. Most matters settle at the conciliation stage, and while there's a cap of 26 weeks, there's no reason why there needs to be any limit one way or the other on the settlement at that stage. A common range of settlements is, however, between say 6 and 12 weeks' pay. In addition to that, you also would expect a deed, and the deed would contain terms of non-disparagement. You can't say anything rude about each other, confidentiality, no one should talk about it anymore, and releases. You can't sue them again for something else and they can't sue you. That's if the matter settles. If the matter doesn't settle and it proceeds on to a final hearing, the member can make, and there's a finding that the dismissal was unfair, the member can either decide that you should be reinstated. That's not very common, it's the primary remedy, but it's still not very common. More commonly, the Commission decides that that's not appropriate. And if they decide that's not appropriate, they can award compensation. Now, there's a formula under the Fair Work Act which takes some factors that need to be considered by the Commission in working out how much compensation. But in general terms, what they do is they look at how much you would have earned if you had stayed there, whether you've got another job and they deduct anything you get from the new job, the impact of tax, the impact of whether or not you've gone out there and tried to find other work, so mitigation's important, whether or not there was any misconduct, so even though it wasn't fair that you were dismissed, if there was still something bad that occurred, then that can be a reason to deduct money from the compensation. The employer can raise issues and say, well, look, we can't afford this, and that can be taken into account. And ultimately, they then settle on a figure. Now, if that figure is more than 26 weeks' pay, they're required under the Act to reduce it down to the 26 weeks' pay because that's the maximum that can be awarded. However, in practice, awards for unfair dismissal are often quite modest and seldom get to the 26 weeks' pay threshold. Unfair dismissal is really only one of the remedies. It's the quickest and easiest of the remedies to deal with dismissal, but there's a whole lot of others. We can assist you and provide advice on the best way forward for your circumstances.